back to the current affairs series, the lectures we have been doing on the current affairs section for UPSC, UPPCS, MPPCS and all the state exams as well, and other exams as well. Moreover, these are the issues that are very important from the point of view of the understanding of the issues that the country currently faces, right? So it becomes very important to develop an understanding as to what are the issues and what are the complexities in those issues that we are facing right now, and how are they important from the exam point of view, and how the questions can be framed in the exam. Okay, the prelims is very close, so our focus will be on prelims. Primary focus will be on prelims, and a secondary focus, as you can say, will be on the main section. So Digital India Land Record Modernization Program and ULPIN scheme. This scheme was recently launched, ULPIN. This was recently launched in 10 states. Sorry. This scheme is one of the components of this DILRMP scheme, that is Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. This scheme is a part of this one. So we will be dealing with this scheme and this as well. So why in news? Because unique land parcel identification number scheme has been launched across 10 states in India, and it is a part of DILRMP, Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. Okay, what is ULPIN? Under the scheme, a 14-digit number like our Aadhaar code that will be allotted to all the identified land parcels of the country. Okay, already the land record digitalization is going on. The main scheme of digitalization of land records was launched in 2008. Since then, it has been going on in all the states. Now, land records and maintenance of land records, the maintenance of revenue from the land comes under the state list, under the 23rd section of state list. ठीक है, तो 7th शेड्यूल में सारी लिस्ट्स प्रोवाइडेड है, जहाँ पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ पावर्स बेसिकली मेंशन्ड है सेंटर और स्टेट के बीच में. ठीक है, तो ULPIN scheme, now that the land record have been digitized and the owners are being identified for the land records, so now those owners will be provided with ULPIN number. It will be a 14-digit code like our Aadhaar code, very similar to that. But that 14-digit will include the longitude and latitude of the land parcel that has been identified. Okay, that will be based on the longitude and latitude of the land parcel that has been identified. So why has this need come for the modernization or digitalization of the land records in country? First of all, the land records in India are very poorly managed. The prime reason is the distribution of or the spread of the land records in the various departments within the state governments. क्योंकि state governments के अंडर में land records का maintenance आता है, तो क्योंकि section 23 of course of the state list. यहाँ पे दो issues create होते हैं. The first one is कि land record maintenance departments के across spread है first of all, and the second one is there is no uniform criteria or there is a lack of uniformity in the laws regarding to the transaction or related to land. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूपी में लैंड रिलेटेड लॉ, लैंड रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए कुछ और लॉज हैं, बिहार में कुछ और लॉज हैं, रेवेन्यू एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जो लैंड है उसके लिए कुछ और लॉज हैं दोनों स्टेट्स में. तो इसके वजह से दिक्कत क्या हुई? दिक्कत बहुत सारी अराइज होती हैं व्हेन द development of land and the development of cities and the expansion of urban areas or the development of infrastructure like roads, bridges, canals is done. Because, for example, a national highway is to be made that is passing through 2-3 states. In that case, the acquisition of land becomes cumbersome process because of the different kind of the first one is the different kind of land records that the states maintain, and the second one is because of the absence or the spread of the records, due to which no a single point access for acquisition of land and compensation is not available. अब ओके, तो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है कि लैंड ओनरशिप इन इंडिया इज डिटरमाइंड बाय सेल डीड्स एंड इट डज नॉट प्रोवाइड ओनरशिप, ठीक है। तो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सेल डीड? सेल डीड का मीनिंग क्या है? इंडिया में जो लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स मेंटेन किए जाते हैं, मैनेज किए जाते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ वन सेज दैट ही ओन्स अ लैंड, तो how can he prove that he owns a land? He can prove it through three documents primarily. The first one is the document of registration, okay, registration. The second one is property tax. If I own a land, I would have paid property tax on that, okay. And the third one is cadastral map, okay, cadastral map. Fine. So the registrar of the government, okay, registrar or the department of registration will be holding the information regarding the registration of the land parcel. Fine. The second one is property tax, that will be the revenue department, and the third one is cadastral map, that will be having with the survey department, okay, survey department. So you can see that the information regarding one land parcel is spread across three departments, due to which unification of the criteria for identification of a land parcel are not at one single point, and that creates problems. That creates problems in the sense that there are anomalies in the records. Fine. Like for example, one transfer of land from one person to other takes place. Okay. For example, this takes place from person A to person B. Now, this person B got himself this registered. He paid the stamp duty and got it registered. But he did not pay. But the similar kind of change about the registration about that parcel of land was not made in the property tax register. And but in these two things the changes were made. But in the property tax register, the similar kind of change was not made, due to which the property tax register has now become outdated. And if this person is having the record from the property tax department, he can claim that this land belongs to him because he is having the records of property tax. This anomaly creates litigation, due to which courts have been overburdened with what? Land disputes. Okay? And one survey of Supreme Court also said that on an average the land dispute takes 20 years to settle. Already our courts are very overburdened with the disputes. In Supreme Court itself around 54,000 cases are pending. And in the whole country around 1 crore cases are pending. And most of the cases in lower courts are about civil disputes. Okay. The second one is land records are poorly maintained. As I said, land record data is spread over various departments. Okay. And issues of benami transactions. Benami transactions का meaning होता है किसी और के नाम पे land register करा के to avoid the land sealing act, okay, or to avoid paying property taxes. ठीक है. In that cases, the original owner of the land is not present, but the land has been registered in the name of some other person to avoid stamp duty, taxation, and all these things. That is called benami transaction. Although in 2016 Benami Transactions Act was passed, which limited the scope of benami transactions, but still the problems are going on, due to which the consequences are high rate of litigation. High rate of litigation because of the anomaly in the records spread across the departments. Okay. Unlawful acquisition by land mafia in rural areas. This is a very pertinent problem. Hurdle in land acquisition for infrastructure and development related projects, and illegal alienation from land. Illegal alienation from land implies that even though the transfer or the sale and purchase of the land has taken place, but still the ownership rights are not endowed upon the person, because ownership right is a different thing from the right of registration. Okay. Registration department does not allow registration of a land transfer, does not endow someone with the right of ownership of the land. Why? Registration का मतलब ये है कि registration of property act 1908, okay. The first one is transfer of property act, okay, transfer of property act. And the transfer of property act says that any kind of transfer or sale of land can take place only after a registration, ठीक है. It says that any kind of transfer or sale of a land can only take place after a registration, ठीक है. And that, अब वो registration कहाँ, किस act में होगा? That is registration act, basically registration act 19 registration act 1908. This act provides for the registration, and this act says that the all kind of transfer or sale of property will take place only after registration. मतलब बिना registration के all the transfer of property is invalid. Now registration act provides for the format of registration. Fine. So it only provides that a sale of or transfer of property has taken place, but it is not land entitlement, ठीक है. It is not the right of deed, okay. मतलब registration of a property does not entitle one person of the right over the land, ठीक है. It only empowers you to have a certificate that the certain kind of land was transferred from that person to me. But यहाँ पे litigation कैसे arise हो सकता है? That person was not entitled to own that land at the first hand. So how is he able to transfer that land from him to you? Okay. तो departments, the registration department, और इसको registrar कहते हैं, ठीक है, responsible for registration of deeds and collection of stamp duty. The second was revenue department. Revenue department assesses manages a register where the property taxes are managed, जहाँ पे आप जितना भी अपनी property पे tax pay करते हैं वो note होता है. And maintains ROR register. This is record of rights register, ठीक है. And the third one is survey settlement department. Survey and settlement department is the department that prepares maps, cadastral maps. Now what are cadastral maps? Cadastral map is in a revenue or survey department. A cadastral map is a very different thing from the geographical map that we see, and it is also similar to the geographical map that we see in the sense that a cadastral map contains the details of the property. Fine. For example, this is a land parcel, ठीक है. तो cadastral map will contain कि this अब इस land parcel के left में एक 1250 स्क्वायर मीटर का लैंड है, इसके साउथ में एक फॉर एग्जांपल फार्म है ना, इसके ईस्ट में फॉर एग्जांपल एक होम है, और इसके नॉर्थ में रोड है. नाउ ऑल दीज डिटेल्स विल बी कंटेन्ड इन द कैडेस्ट्रल मैप. दिस मैप इज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय सर्वे एंड सेटलमेंट डिपार्टमेंट. फाइन. तो कैडेस्ट्रल मैप्स आर प्रिपेयर्ड बाय सर्वे एंड सेटलमेंट डिपार्टमेंट. तो एक ही लैंड के बारे में जो डिफरेंट इंफॉर्मेशन हैं वो डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स में प्रेजेंट है, ड्यू टू विच द यूनिफॉर्मिटी इन द लैंड डेटा इज नॉट प्रेजेंट. नाउ व्हाट इज DILRMP? Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. Fine. This scheme was launched in 2008. Fine. As land record, okay, land record modernization program. Land record modernization program, ठीक है. It was launched in 2008, but subsequently it was converted to Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. What our aim is? Its aim is to update land records, automate mutation. Mutation means changes. Automate the whole process. The first one is automate the whole process. That is, make the whole process computer based, and automate the mutation. Mutation means changes. Any kind of changes that are happening in the registers of the various departments, ठीक है, so that changes would be naturally reflected into the registers that are maintained by the departments. Automate this process. Whenever a transaction of a land takes place, all the the transaction data is automatically updated into the registers of the database of the department that are holding the land records. The third one is integration between textual and spatial information. Textual and spatial information is the cadastral map. Textual information is about the property tax. Textual in the sense कि textual of course is about text, है ना. तो text में जो information present है वो कहाँ पे है? Registry department में and as well as property tax department में, यानी revenue department में. अब इन तीनों departments के data का integration so that a single point to obtain the information about a land parcel can be obtained. ठीक है. इंटरकनेक्टिविटी बिटवीन रेवेन्यू एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन. ठीक है. रेवेन्यू एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन में इंटरकनेक्टिविटी कैसे क्रिएट की जा सकती है? व्हेनेवर अ रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ अ लैंड इज डन इन सम अदर पर्सन's नेम, द प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स डॉक्यूमेंट शुड बी अलॉटेड टू दैट पर्सन. Okay, and the original property tax document that the person was holding should be cancelled. To replace the present deeds registration and presumptive title. Presumptive title means it is assumed that the right of records or the registration deeds are the papers that confer the title, the entitlement of the title of the land. But what happens is that this anomaly creates a lot of litigation. ठीक है. तो इसको हटाने के लिए and so that now the government wants to award what title of the land to the people instead of what this registration of deeds. ठीक है, या registration of transfer of a land. Now it is a central sector scheme under the Department of Land Revenue, Ministry of Rural Development. Now very important thing is, if the land development, the development of land, the revenue from the land is under the state list, then how can a central government scheme be implemented? ठीक है. तो central government does is it bears all the expenses. Central sector scheme, okay, मतलब expenses कौन bear करेगा? Central government 100% expenses bear करेगी. Moreover, this scheme also empowers. This scheme is basically a financial motivation for the states. जो state governments के जो departments of land हैं, उनको central government पैसे देती है to implement this scheme. Okay, तो central governments don't have to utilize their own money. ठीक है. तो what central government is doing is basically providing finances as a financial motivation to the what states so that they can pay for the modernization of what the land records. Now what are the components? The first one is computerization of land records, survey and resurvey, and the third one is computerization of registration. Computerization of land records and computerization of registration are two different things. Computerization of land record means जो land records pre-existing हैं, ठीक है, उन सारे land records के data को computer based बनाना. Fine. And computerization of registration is the process of registration, ठीक है, जो कि तहसील में होता है. Fine. Whenever you are going to purchase or sell your land, you will have to go to the nearest tehsil and all the transactions in SDM office are done. Now this process needs to be computerized. ठीक है, क्योंकि of course there are many problems like stamp duty collection में problems हैं, है ना. तो ये process computerized हो जाएगा तो leakages जो है stamp duty and all इनको minimize किया जा सकता है. Moreover, computerization of registration will make one more very important thing, that one land is not getting transferred to two or more people, मतलब more than one people, because as soon as the one land is being sold to another person which already belongs to someone else, there will be the computer will detect that and that process can be stopped. So this is one of the very like computerization or digitalization will help in removing the land fraud. Fine. Okay. Initiatives. Now what are the initiatives? The first one is National Generic Document Registration System. It is a one nation, one software. That means one software. The first one is to integrate like in a horizontal fashion and then in a vertical fashion. How? National Generic one software will be provided to all the states. That means uniformization of the process of maintaining land records. Very important, because हर स्टेट अपनी तरफ से हर स्टेट का जो क्राइटेरिया है या हर स्टेट का जो लैंड रजिस्टर है उसमें अलग अलग चीजें मेंशन है, ड्यू टू विच in cases of infrastructure, in cases of land acquisition for infrastructure development and other such processes, there is a lot of problem. ठीक है, तो उस प्रॉब्लम को खत्म करने के लिए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल the first scheme is कि all the registration, the maintenance of records should be uniformized across the country. The second one is unique land parcel identification number. The second one is of course the one we are talking about. This has been launched in around 18 states. Now this has been launched in the current session in around 10 states, and it will be subsequently extended to the other states as well. It is what unique land parcel identification number. It will be a 14-digit unique code allotted to every parcel of identified land, and that code will be containing the longitude and latitude of the will be based roughly on the data of longitude and latitude of a parcel of land that has been identified. Okay. Now progress, computerization of land records. The first one, digitization of cadastral maps, integration of SRO with revenue offices, okay, and computerization of registration. Now land records के computerization में it has been completed in more than 23 states में it has been completed more than 90%. मतलब now this scheme is nearing its completion. ठीक है, डिजिटल कैडेस्ट्रल मैप्स के अपडेशन में 19 स्टेट्स जो हैं वहां पे 90% के अराउंड काम हो चुका है. इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ SRO with revenue office. SRO means basically the transfer deeds. Integration of land records with the basically registration of land records with the revenue office. Fine, that has been completed by more than 90% in 22 states. And computerization of registration, it has also been completed by more than 90% in 16 states. Okay, so it's very important to understand that the scheme is nearing its completion, and now a subset of that scheme, that is unique land identification number, has been launched now. A very similar scheme was recently launched in many states, that is Swamitva scheme. Now there's a difference between Swamitva scheme and this one. So what is the difference we are going to study now? In a very brief, we'll be looking at what is the difference between Swamitva scheme and this one. So this digital land record modernization program deals with the land records or the property that is basically agricultural land, whereas Swamitva scheme, ठीक है, Swamitva, okay. The second one is Digital India Land Record Modernization Program. The Swamitva scheme is about, first of all, it is from Ministry of Rural Development, plus Panchayati Raj, okay, plus Survey Department, plus Revenue. Okay, Swamitva scheme. This is implemented by Ministry of Rural Development plus what? Ministry of Ministry of Rural Development plus Survey Department and Revenue Department. Now when I say department, that means ministries of states, because states में ministries को department के नाम से जाना जाता है. ठीक है, the first difference is this, because there is one important Panchayati Raj, and the main implementing body is Panchayati Raj, the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Fine. The second one is, it is about the मतलब property or abadi areas. Very important, abadi areas. ठीक है, it is about agricultural lands, agricultural and of course non-agricultural, commercial lands. Agriculture, non-agricultural lands, the ones which are not used for development of homes. But Swamitva scheme is for development of the land that is being used for property development. Okay, so in abadi areas, basically इट इज बीइंग इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन रूरल डेवलपमेंट, रूरल एरियाज, तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट एंड पंचायती राज। तो अब इसका इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है स्वामित्व स्कीम का? इट विल बी डन कि जितने भी हैबिटेशंस हैं उनका एक ड्रोन मैपिंग किया जाएगा, ओके, एंड देन all the drone mapping will be done so that all the anomalies or the claims over the lands could be settled, ठीक है, and this a very detailed record will with the panchayat, the gram panchayats will be available, so that the gram panchayats can plan their development schemes, okay, plan their they can also plan their property taxation, they can make an assessment of how much property tax they should levy, ठीक है, क्योंकि this will be done through drone mapping, ओके, मतलब जितने भी विलेजेस हैं उन विलेजेस का ड्रोन मैपिंग किया जाएगा, एंड वहां पे उन विलेजेस में जो हैबिटेशंस हैं, जो होम्स हैं, उन होम्स को आइडेंटिफाई करके एंड उसके लिए पेपर्स अलॉट किए जाएंगे द ओनर्स, टू द ओनर्स, ठीक है। तो अब इसका बेनिफिट क्या होगा? द फर्स्ट वन इज द पंचायत विल बी like better equipped to make an assessment of the property tax. The second will be the panchayat will be more equipped to make a plan for the development of the village. The third one is when the people are having papers for their property, so they will be able to mortgage it and get loans. तो rural area में credit का जो facilitation है वो improve हो सकता है, okay. On the second hand, this Digital India land record modernization program is basically about land records of the agricultural and non-agricultural commercial lands. Apart from this one, अब इसका क्या हेल्प होगा? इसका बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प ये तो होगा, द फर्स्ट वन इज रिडक्शन ऑफ लिटिगेशन बिकॉज लैंड राइट्स सब क्लियरली डिफाइंड हो जाएंगे, ठीक है। द सेकंड वन इज कि जो हेरिडिटरी जो टैक्स ऑन इनहेरिटेंस है उसको गवर्नमेंट बेटर इंप्लीमेंट कर पाएगी, ठीक है। तो दिस वाज डिजिटल इंडिया लैंड रिकॉर्ड मॉडर्नाइजेशन प्रोग्राम।